What's up guys, and if you're new here, my name is Joel Emerson, and I'm a magician, cardist, filmmaker, and photographer. Today, we're going to be doing a revamp tutorial of the spring. Now, kind of at the start of my channel, I made a video called My Tutorial on the Spring. The reason why I'm making another one is because I feel like that video didn't teach as much as I wanted to. It kind of taught in a way that doesn't make the spring look as good. It's kind of angling the spring like this. This is how I showed how to do it. Very close up, kind of angling it into your hand. That's not really what you want. What I'm going to show you how to do today is how to get your springs to look like this. This is just a regular spring. That's just regular. It looks kind of like a big spring, but that's just regular spring. You don't really want to be angling it into your hand downward. You want to keep it more straight. And I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into that in this video today. So stay tuned. Let's check it out. Alright, so jumping right into it, all the hand placement and things like that were right in my other video, so I'm just going to go over that very quickly. The hand placement, what you want, let me zoom in here so you can see that a little bit better. What you want with the hand placement, so you're going to take your middle finger and your thumb. You're going to take your middle finger, put it on the top right corner, and your thumb on the bottom left corner. Now this will help for the most stability. Now what I like to do is have my index right on top just to stabilize the deck, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to bend the cards. Now I know you're probably wondering, why am I bending these cards? I really don't want to ruin my brand new cards. You're not. I promise you, you're not. Just keep with me. Let's keep going. So you're going to bend the cards. Now as you start bending them more, you will see you start to get cards slowly coming out of the deck. Now you want to bend it more to pick up pace. And just keep doing that over and over again. I'm just doing it kind of close to my hands so I can get it in frame. But you're just going to continue bending the cards. Just like that. It's really simple. It's not really that hard to learn. The hardest part is direction. So after you get that down, where you're just bending the cards to where they're going into your hand, just like that. Just keep bending the cards, kind of where you want you're kind of trying to get your fingers to touch, but they're never gonna touch because then you probably will ruin your cards. But you're kind of bringing your fingers together, and you end up getting a spring. Now for directioning, you want to kind of have your hand to the side. You can have it a little bit down a little bit, but you don't want to have it all the way to where you're angling it like that. You want to have it to where you're angling it like that. It's supposed to be a really smooth movement. You don't really want it to be chunky like that. You want it to be really smooth, really fast. Just angling it into your hand. Keeping your hand up. And how I like to have my hand is I kind of like to have it in this grip here, so when I'm shooting it out, it kind of lands into my hand and my fingers, and my fingers stop it from going up. So that's pretty much it. Now for the big spring, what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to arc your hand, and then this hand, the catching hand, is going to arc with it and kind of drag it out. You want to really over exaggerate it to make it look as best as possible. So just doing that real quick, we're going to arc the hand and just keep practicing it until you get it really big. I'm just gonna see if I can do it as big as possible right there. You want it to be really over exaggerated, really big. Try to, once you get just like a regular big spring down where it's just kind of where your hands are kind of like this far apart the entire time. Keep opening up that gap between your hands. Just keep opening it up until you get a really good spring. You're gonna want to go across your entire body basically. You're gonna arc your hand, both of them with it, like that. And then you're going to continue to open up that gap between your hands until you cannot open up that gap any longer. And then once all the cards get into this hand, you're going to smack your hands together to keep those cards in place so they don't fly everywhere. So let's try that again and show you what I'm talking about. You're going to big spring, clap. You see they aren't really all together in one deck yet, so you're just going to bring those back together. And if you're afraid of bending your cards, so let's do it a couple times just to actually bend the cards, or we'll actually just bend the cards just like that. So let's say your cards are bent like this. Now if your cards are bent like this, what you're going to want to do is you are just going to want to flip it over. That's literally it. Flip it over, do a spring, and you're good to go. You see there is a little bit of a bend, but what I like to do after every single spring that I do is after I do the spring, let's just do like a really bent one. So after I do that spring and I've got bent cards, what you're going to want to do is just riffle the bottom of the deck. And then most, if not all the time, the deck will go back to normal. So you've got a straight deck instead of just a curved deck. So that's pretty much everything that I can cover. Ooh, my eye, so maybe having this on a controller ring wasn't the best idea, but it's helpful. All right, so that's pretty much everything that I can cover over the spring. If you missed something, just go back. I probably covered it. Watch it again, and watch again as many times as you want until you actually get the motion down. Just keep practicing it until you get it down. That's the best thing I can tell you to do, because the more you practice, the more you learn. So just keep practicing until you get a really good spring. That's really all that I can tell you. Just keep going for it, and until you actually are able to get big stuff like that. That is all for now. We're going to move on to the outro.